Hi everyone, this is Professor Jennifer Noble, and I'm going to be talking to you today about researching your white collar case study. So, I have a bunch of slides I've used in previous classes, and I normally use these over a 50-minute class period, but I'm going to try and get through them today in about 15 minutes. So, keep in mind, even though I may be talking fast, that you can always go back and listen to this again, and I will put the slides online so that you can read them on your own at your own pace. All right. So, just a reminder, the case study project is about 50% of your grade for the course. And it consists of one case that you choose, and it has to be a white collar criminal case. I'm working on grading your case study topic memos right now. Um, it's 3 assignments, including the topic memo, and it's over 15 weeks. So you have a long time to do an in depth study of this one case. So the three components are the topic memo, which was due on Sunday and which I'm grading right now, which is worth 5% of your course grade. The research memo, which is 15%, which is due on Sunday, March 15th. The case study paper, which is 30% of your grade and which is due on May 3rd. All of the information about the case study project can be found in the module that says Case Study Research Project, including an overview, the 3 assignments, and then other documents that I think might be helpful for you, like a citation for the case study paper, a small guide on how to cite legal documents in APA style. It also includes a sample case that you can look at to see what other students have done in the past, and also a slide presentation on how to search on Westlaw for academic articles. So you've already chosen a case study, and hopefully it's something that interests you because you will be doing a very deep dive into the defendant and what happened in this case, and also the type of case that it is, what type of crime was committed. So you'll hopefully have found something that has media coverage of it. Hopefully not too much so that you don't get completely overwhelmed, but that you have a lot to draw on. I have a lot of resources that I have posted on Canvas in the resources and in the documentary and other media pages. I'd encourage you to really mine those because I try to throw in everything I can think of that will help you. Um, I've also have resources in my office. I have a small library of books on white collar crime and um, other resources that I haven't posted because they're maybe a little bit um, not relevant to most cases, but I might be able to help you locate some documents. So you can always reach out to me. Today, what I want to focus on is the one requirement that you must, one of the requirements you must have is a case study, or I'm sorry, a court document from your case study. And you have to have an original court document that you're using as a resource for your paper. Um, that means it has to be from the trial court level. I've encouraged you to pick a federal case because then you can use PACER, which is the public access to court electronic records. It does require that you register, and they do charge by the page. They charge 10 cents a page. Some documents have a $3 cap, others do not, so you have to be careful with that. And then there are also some free resources that you can use to find those court documents. So I want to walk through those first. One of those is good old Google. The other one is Court Listener. Do note that if you have chosen a state case, that is fine, but not all state documents are available online, and none of them are going to be available online in PACER, so that part of this presentation won't apply to your search. So let's start with the free resources. Google's a great resource. It's a very good tool, but you do need to know how to use it in order to not waste your time. So searching either the case name, like I did in this example of United States versus Leland Yee, plus PDF. That can help narrow down the search for court documents that are online, because most likely they're going to be documents that are in PDF format. So when I ran that, just that with no quotes, just that term, the name of the case, and PDF, I got a Wikipedia page, but also I got a copy of the indictment that was posted at the San Francisco Chronicle website. That means that if you had this case, that is your that is a really good document, actually. The indictment in the case is the charging document. So that would be an excellent place to start there. So you can also go to Wikipedia. I do have opinions on using Wikipedia as a source. Wonderful place to start your research. Terrible place to stop and never ever cite it in your case study research to me, because what you want to use it for is the footnotes. The footnotes have the links to the source documents, and that's what you should be citing too. So use those footnotes. You can see from this set of footnotes, one of the documents that's linked in Wikipedia is the affidavit of the FBI agent in support of the complaint. That is another court document that you can use. So there again, you've met a requirement for this paper. But there's also a lot of other resources here. You can't just rely on only the 2 or 3 required documents for the case study paper, which would be the court document and 2 law review articles. You need more than that. So you're going to want to look for media reports that occurred at the time of your case. So this also listed a lot of news articles from reputable newspapers that you could use and cite to. So if you've exhausted Google and you can't find your case online, let's look at Court Listener. So Court Listener is a great resource. The way it works is attorneys who use this a lot will upload a browser plugin that every time they download something from Pacer, it uploads a copy to Court Listener's recap archive. And that makes it free for everyone else to access. So the nice thing is it might have your case document if somebody else who is using that browser plugin has also purchased that document. It only applies to federal cases because it's linked with Pacer, and it doesn't have all of the cases online for free. So to start with, make sure that you have your defendant's name or the case name. Know where it's filed. So if it was filed in Sacramento, then that would be the Eastern District of California. If it was filed in New York, you want to make sure you know which district in New York. A lot of white-collar cases are filed in the Southern District of New York, but not all of them. Some are filed in the Eastern District as well, and they can be filed in any district. You'll also, if you have it, use the case number because that will narrow your search quite a bit. So when you log into Court Listener, or you don't even have to have an account, but you can get an account and it's free, you go to the recap archive page. So it's courtlistener.com/recap. And there it's just a search engine. You can plug in the name of a case and start searching, or you can put in the name of a defendant. It will be probably a good idea to select the jurisdiction and narrow it down. Because otherwise you end up with searches like this, where you get 1,600 cases, because Bernie Madoff got sued a lot after he was charged criminally. These were bankruptcy appeals. So what you want to do is go up to that top left button and select the jurisdictions. It'll bring up that top screen, a window that has all the different appellate courts, the federal district courts, and the bankruptcy courts. Go up to the top and hit Clear All. And then go to the Federal District tab. And if you look at this bottom window, it'll tell you like all of the different courts choose the one that you know that's your case is filed in, and then that will narrow it down and you can find the case that you're looking for. So this is a snapshot in Court Listener of the Bernie Madoff docket. Um, the nice thing about this is it sort of tells you what's going on in the docket, and there's a lot going on in Bernie Madoff's case. When you click on one of those headings, it will tell you a little bit more about that. This is actually from a different case, but it was a really good description. So this item is available for free. So if you wanted to read the memorandum in opposition to the judge's pretrial release order, you could download that for free. You can tell by that blue button that's lit up. If you wanted to see the attachments and the exhibits, you would have to pay for those. So this demonstrates what it looks like when that document is available for free. And if you were to click on a document that was available for free, it will show you, it'll bring up a PDF of the court file. The first thing you should do is save a copy of that PDF to your computer so you don't have to try and track it down again. So that's Court Listener. Let's move on to Pacer. So the good news is that Pacer will have court documents for any federal case that was filed after 2000. The bad news is it hasn't really been updated since 2000, so the interface is very difficult to work with. A lot of you have emailed me and said that that your case can't be found on Pacer. It can be, I promise. It just takes a little bit of digging. So don't go to the Pacer case locator. What you do if you get to this page, which is sort of the one of the entry pages, is you have to go to the court that has your case. Each court district has its own database, and you have to go in there. You can't just search across the nation. So again, if there was a case that was filed in Sacramento, you'd want to go to the California Eastern District, which is in the middle of that center column. Those are all the U.S. district courts, the trial courts. Alternatively, when you log in, it'll also ask you where would you like to go, and you can choose court links, and then you could say which court you want to log into, and it'll take you there directly. So once you get into a court's filing system, you click on the top left button that says Query. That's going to allow you to search. This is what the search window looks like. I told you it has not been updated in 2 decades. If you have the case number, that's great. If you don't, put in the first and last names. And I think there's a drop-down menu that says, is it a party or is it an attorney? You'd want to pick the party because it'd be the defendant, and then hit Run Query. So when you did that with Leland Yee, this is what the results are. It says there are 4 different cases where he's a defendant. So what you have to do there is you have to click on one of those until you find the one that gets you a criminal case. Perhaps he's been sued by someone as well. So this is what came up when I clicked on one of those cases. And the reason why I know it's the one that's circled is because I knew what year that this was filed, and I knew that I was looking for a criminal case. So you can see where it says 14-CR-00196. That's the case number. 14 is the year this was filed. Knowing that a case is filed in 2014 means that you know what the case number is going to look like. The CR stands for criminal. If this were a civil case, it would be CV. So if it was a case where the SEC had sued your defendant, it would have a CV there instead of a CR. The magistrate court sees these cases first, and oftentimes there will be a court case number assigned when it's at magistrate court that is not a permanent one. It's sort of a temporary number, and that would be the MJ case. But all the same documents will be in the one that's assigned to the judge, the CR, the criminal case. So that's the one to go to. The reason why there are two in this case is because there were multiple defendants. Um, Chow was the main defendant, so his name is at the top of the marquee, and Leland Yi was not, so his name is further down the list. So if you click only on the second link, it will give you only the documents relating to that defendant, but not any of the other defendants, unless they're joint documents. The indictment will list every defendant, so you'll get that um, a global picture. But then after that, you might want to narrow down and just have a docket search for your defendant because that will be the part that you care about. So clicking on that will take you here. Um, you want to click on Docket Report, and then you want to click on Run Report. Now, note that this white box below Run Report is a recap box. And what this is saying is, for those of us, like I do, who have a Court Listener plugin installed on our browsers, it's telling us that there is a way to see this docket without paying for it. If we click on that link, it'll take us to Recap, which is Court Listener. So you do not have to install that that plugin, but it does sort of help you navigate if you wanted to do it. That will once you click Run Docket, this is what the docket looks like. First of all, at the top it says Criminal Docket for the case number, and this is, you can see the defendant on the left, Leland Yi. If you scroll down, it will tell you the pending counts and what happened if this case is resolved. For instance, it tells you he was found guilty on a count and the disposition was 60 months in prison, fines, and forfeitures, and that the other counts were dismissed. This lower window here says starts at the top of the menu, because a docket is basically just a menu of everything that has happened in this case. Any of those buttons on the left, the numbers that you can click on, will take you to a court document that you can view and purchase. So when you go to the purchase screen, this is one of the things you're going to see. This is the document selection menu. If you want to see this document, it's 104 pages. If you want to see the attachments, there you can get those separately as well. That R there, again, tells you it's available on Court Listener for free. So what I recommend is opening that in a new window so you don't have to go back and search again. But if you do that if you have the Court Listener plugin, you can always click on that. Yeah. It'll also tell you, if you are going to buy it through Pacer, that how many pages it is and what the charge will be. So this one tells you the charge will be $3. And then it'll tell you, show you the PDF. Again, save a copy of that to your computer so you don't have to buy it again. Okay, so that's my best advice on how to find court documents. For finding academic journal and law review articles, keep in mind that these do not have to be about your case in particular. They can be about any issue relating to your case. It can be about the type of crime. So if you have a defendant who is charged with money laundering and you want to talk about money laundering enforcement or sentencing in money laundering cases or other trends, you can find an article about that. If you have a defendant who is a woman and you want to talk about gender and white-collar sentencing, that would be an excellent article to look for. These have to be peer-reviewed articles in an academic journal or in a law review. And there is, again, a PowerPoint presentation in the case study project module that will walk you through how to search in the library's database. Make sure that you understand what a law review article is. It's an in-depth peer review, lengthy article on an issue, usually a very narrow issue. It is not a blog from a law firm. So this has been a problem. I just want to make you all aware of that. So if you have questions, email me and I'm happy to help. Um, all right, your research memo is due on Sunday, March 15th. There's a ton of information and details and tips in the assignment, which is online in Canvas. You do have to have your court document by March 15th because you do need to upload a court document with your research memo. And that is a court document from the trial court, not an appellate document. It has to be from the trial court level. You also have to cite to and summarize 2 academic articles, but you do not have to upload those. And then all of the other research that you've compiled. So, news articles, podcast episodes, documentaries, books, anything else that you have done. If you have contacted any of the people involved and interviewed them, tell me about that. All of that goes into your research memo as well. All right. If you have questions, you can always reach me by email. I will get back to you as soon as I can. You're also welcome to come by my student hours in my office, Alpine Hall 209. I'm there 10:30 till noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm also available by appointment. And I hope to meet you all in person at some point over the semester. All right, that's it for today. Good luck on your papers and keep in touch. Bye.